The dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like,
Terence Crawford and his strength, his poise, his skill level, his defense. It was a master class, and I think it shot him right up to the #1 pound for pound.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake. Hey, Logan.
Jake Paul versus Terence Crawford. Crawford, widely considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters ever, known for his skill, patience, and precision, has now officially changed his stance.
We have this conversation, Ray. Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah. Jake
He too big? He too big?
Yeah, Jake big, but he doing his thing, man.
Crawford says he's willing to face Jake Paul if the conditions are right. For years, he dismissed him as just a YouTube spectacle. That's right. Terence Crawford used to call Jake Paul a circus act in boxing, but now he acknowledges that Jake's discipline, power, and development in the ring have made him reconsider.
Jake can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, him and Tyson was in the ring and he could have laid it on Tyson, but he kind of held back.
There's never been a story like this in modern boxing. Not long ago, Crawford didn't respect what Jake represented, a YouTuber earning massive money, skipping the amateur grind, and calling out seasoned fighters who spent years building their reputations. But now, with Gervonta Davis possibly unable to face Kean in his next fight, Crawford could step in as a replacement. Let's be real, even the most stubborn champions start paying attention when the payday is this significant.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis, the fight is in jeopardy. There's another, yes, I said another domestic abuse allegation against Gervonta Davis, and that may either destroy, postpone, change the entire event.
How did one of the greatest boxing minds go from mocking Jake Paul to considering a fight with him? The answer might surprise you. To understand just how big this shift is, you need to look back. Crawford didn't just ignore Jake Paul. He actively criticized him. From the start, he made it clear he felt the YouTuber was disrespecting the sport. He explained that boxing isn't just entertainment. It demands blood, patience, and hard-earned lessons. To Crawford, Jake was simply chasing money, entering the sacred world of boxing with fame instead of skill.
When people was coming at you and your brother negative about boxing, I'm like, man, yeah, them dudes just, using their YouTube status to come in boxing and make all this money.
Crawford used to call Jake a circus act. Fun to watch, but not part of the serious boxing world. That all changed when Crawford went to Puerto Rico that night. He wasn't there to watch Jake. It was just a gathering. But when Jake fought Ryan Borland, Crawford saw him in the ring up close for the first time. Seeing Jake land a clean knockout made Crawford reassess him. He later said, "I saw him up close. That guy isn't slow like people think. He can really punch." The fighter who once laughed at Jake Paul now had a new level of interest.
And you got all these boxers that's been doing it their whole life that doesn't even make close to what they making. I think it's disrespectful to us in the game. And then
a few weeks later, Crawford appeared on Logan Paul's show and surprised fans with something nobody expected. He admitted he had been wrong. At first, he thought Jake was rude and just using YouTube fame to make money from boxing. But then he watched him train and realized this guy is improving. Coming from Terence Crawford, a perfectionist who rarely gives praise, that was a huge statement. He explained that Jake's dedication had changed his perception. Jake wasn't just chasing headlines anymore. He was sparring with real pros, following techniques, and improving with every fight.
His last fight, I was there ringside and sitting there, and I'm like, man, this dude can punch with that right hand. And I'm like, man, he ain't just no regular.
Something changed.
Yeah, like when you see it firsthand, like he ain't fighting no killer.
It was acceptable to call Jake serious, but not exceptional. And that shift opened the door to a question Crawford would have dismissed before. What would happen if I fought Jake Paul? There's more at play than just respect. Of course, the money is huge. Terence Crawford has achieved everything in boxing. Undisputed titles in 2 divisions, an undefeated record, and the top spot in his weight class. Now there's really only one thing left to chase: big paydays. And Jake Paul brings in more money than anyone else in his world. Fans from all kinds of backgrounds show up to his fights, something boxing hasn't seen in years. Like him or not, he's revived the spectacle, which translates to pay-per-view gold.
Let Jake do what
You
Jake.
got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake. Hey, Logan.
Critics are starting to see the bigger picture. The goal isn't to prove who's the better fighter. That's already clear. It's about timing, building a legacy, and earning big money while the spotlight is on. So when rumors surfaced that Gervonta Davis's legal issues might prevent him from facing Jake Paul, Crawford didn't shut the door. Instead, he said that if everything falls into place, chaos could erupt.
A lot of allegations against Tank. When things like this happen over and over, I think this is his 4th or maybe 5th allegation of domestic abuse, you kind of start to have to look at the person that's being accused of such and go, why do you keep ending up in these situations? And the way it's described, we've even seen Tank do some of the things already on camera. I don't think that's something that Netflix is wanting to be a part of at that point. I don't know if Jake wants to be involved with somebody like that, which is why they're starting to look for potential replacement.
Jake was originally set to face Gervonta Davis, but legal troubles, including assault claims and lawsuits, put that fight in jeopardy. Suddenly, Jake Paul's massive Netflix event looked like it might fall apart. His team quickly explored alternatives. Names like Ryan Garcia, Nate Diaz, and even Anthony Joshua came up, but Crawford's name grabbed the spotlight immediately. And for good reason. Crawford brings credibility. Jake brings attention and global reach. When Jake heard the opportunity, he didn't hesitate. He said, "I'd fight Terence for sure. Let's do it."
Terence Crawford, you just made my bitch list.
Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah.
Come on now, bro. All these pound for pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need 200 million to do it.
That's when the dream started feeling real. This isn't just about shock value for Jake. It's about proving himself. Even if he loses, facing Terence Crawford would instantly erase the YouTuber boxer label. Jake isn't just confident. He's 9 years younger than Crawford, bigger and stronger. And he believes his size levels the playing field. He said in an interview, "This fight is wild, but that's why it works. It's my size versus his skill. Nobody knows what'll happen." That's the calculated chaos Jake thrives on. Here's the twist. Crawford isn't dismissing him anymore. He now acknowledges that Jake is a real boxer. He's ready to face top-level fighters like Usyk or Canelo, competing against opponents on his level and improving with every fight. He's genuinely getting better.
But for him, it's stepping stones just like any other fighter.
Yep.
Like, a lot of people want Jake Paul to just go in there and fight Alexander Usyk, but no, you got.
Crawford said, "I respected him more after seeing him in person than I did before." That's not just praise. It's proof coming from one of the sport's smartest minds. A year ago, Crawford wouldn't even mention Jake's name in the same sentence as boxing. Now he says, "If everything lines up, I'll take that fight today." This isn't just mutual respect. It could signal a shift in how boxing operates. Fights aren't just decided in gyms or arenas anymore. They're planned in boardrooms and debated.
I don't know anything about the Gervonta Davis situation. I don't know if the fight's off. I don't know. No real conversations about Anthony Joshua. I mean, might have slipped it into a conversation, but the key thing is obviously Anthony's exclusive with the zone.
Jake Paul is tied to a huge Netflix event, and now, as a free agent, he's also linked to fights with Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua. Crawford is one of the most adaptable big names in boxing. Even Joshua's manager, Eddie Hearn, confirmed that Jake's team has asked about potential matchups, including one with AJ. One thing is clear. The line between real boxing and boxing influence is shrinking. If a skilled and legendary Terence Crawford faces Jake Paul, it could mark the start of a new era. In today's world, tradition mixes with spectacle, and the numbers matter to everyone. Look at it. Terence Crawford, 120 pounds, a technical genius. Jake Paul, 200 pounds, explosive and constantly hyped. It's age versus skill, respect versus risk, old school boxing versus modern business. Fans are split. Some think it's crazy, others call it brilliant. But one thing everyone agrees on, the world will be watching if it happens. Rumors suggest the fight could take place in Las Vegas or even Saudi Arabia, potentially making it the biggest pay-per-view event ever.
As what Teddy called like a third eye, his instincts. He sees things before other people sees it, and he's able to react quicker than people realize. I think that cements him as the number one based on his performance against Errol Spence Jr. I think he's the number one fighter pound for pound on the planet right now. Do you agree with me?
I would agree. And it makes me think, like, I start to think, who would have won, Terence Crawford or Floyd Mayweather? And based off of how Terence looked at welterweight, I think Terence would have won.
This isn't just another fight. It's a global event that shows how boxing has evolved beyond belts and rankings. Terence Crawford used to dismiss Jake Paul as just a spectacle. Now he sees him as a serious challenge. It's not about hate, it's about opportunity. Jake brings attention and money. Crawford brings skill and credibility. Together, they could create a fight that defines this era of boxing. The big question remains, does Jake Paul have a shot against a pound-for-pound legend? Or will Crawford remind everyone what true boxing looks like? One thing is certain. If this fight happens, the sport will never be the same. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let everyone know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss updates on boxing news, events, and highlights. Check out our other videos too. Until next time.